and all the way there. So I'm going to try my best to stay in front of this.
That just means you're a Baptist.
Talk loud, Kenny.
Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about service. You know, one of the biggest problems we have as Christians today is service. We try to get as much as we can from other people without giving anything back. So you may ask, what is service? Well, Webster's Dictionary defines service as a helpful activity. Which, in other words, for people who can't understand that, because I had to think about it for a minute, it's pretty much helping somebody. Doing something good for somebody else. And I have two questions today. Why should we serve? And why don't we serve now? The first question, why should we serve? Well, it's a simple answer. Christ served. The word Christian means, if you break it down, check out the suffix IAN, it means like. If you take out IAN in Christian, what do you have? All you have is Christ. So if the suffix IAN means like, what's Christian mean? Like Christ. So we are to be like Christ. So many times we say the word Christian, that we're Christian, but then we go out and cuss or get mad at the guy that pulled in front of us, start cussing him out, honking, just stuff like that. And in Mark 10:45, it says, "For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Now, the best example for anything is always Christ. And in Mark 10:45, it says that Christ did not come to get served. As much power as he had, he could have come and been the most powerful person ever walked the face of the earth. Instead, he comes the lowest person that ever walked the face of the earth. And he served everybody else. So if the creator of everything came and served everybody else, don't you think we should do the same thing?
Amen.
If you'll turn your Bible with me to Luke 22:49-51. When they which were about him saw what would follow, they said unto him, Lord, shall we smite with the sword? And one of them smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. And Christ answered and said, Suffer ye thus far, and he touched his ear and healed him. This is talking about when Christ and a couple of his apostles are in the Garden of Gethsemane, right before he gets crucified. And his apostles are like, well, let's fight. We're not just going to let him take you. So one of the apostles cuts off the high priest's servant, cuts off his ear. And even when Christ was about to die, he was still a servant to everybody. He picked up the guy's ear and put it back on and healed him. Now, after that, we don't have an excuse not to serve at a certain time. Or because this person did this to me. Jesus knew that these people were about to kill him. But yet, right before he died, he still served. So the second question I have, why do we not serve now? Well, again, it's a simple answer. It's because we are greedy or selfish. In Proverbs 28:25, it says that a greedy person causes arguments, but a person that trusts in the Lord will prosper. And I don't know about you, but I'm not a big one for arguments. I try to avoid them. I mean, if it's necessary, I'll get into them. But I try to avoid them. And I'd much rather prosper than be in an argument. Jesus called the Pharisees hypocrites many times in the New Testament. And in Matthew 23:25, he says they're full of greed. So if we kind of put that together, they could have called themselves Christians. Not exactly Christians, but because they didn't want to be like Christ. But you guys know what I mean. They said that they upheld the law. But yet they're full of greed. So that makes them hypocrites. Much like we are today. We call ourselves hypocrites, or we call ourselves Christians, but yet we don't want to tithe. we don't want to give God what's His. Or we don't want to do something for somebody else because it's inconvenient for us. And so in other words, we're hypocrites. On Monday, Sean told us that we have to take up our cross. And as Paul says, we have to take up our cross daily. We have to die daily to ourselves. It's not just a one-time thing. It's not just you pray a prayer and then you're done. You can go do whatever. It's more. Once you pray that prayer, that's just the first step. Patrick's theme verse this whole week for camp is not to make the sacrifice of fools, as it talks about in Ecclesiastes 5:5. But if we just pray that prayer and then we're done, that is the sacrifice of fools. And so after we pray that prayer, we kind of need to, we need to do God's will after that. So my questions are, will we continue to be greedy, and as Jesus says, hypocrites? Or will we become a servant like Christ and take up our cross? The choice is ours. God does not make us do what He wants us to do. It's our choice. But, see, there's always that but. But if we do His will, not that our life will be so much more easier, but we will prosper more. So if you'll bow your heads with me, I'm closing prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I come for you today, and I just want to thank you for allowing me to get up here and preach in front of everybody. And thank you for allowing me to preach at camp. Just thank you for everything that happened at camp. And just help the rest of the service to go good and keep everybody safe as they go home. Amen. So, I was supposed to do the offering. I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm doing an offering. I got to introduce the offering. Well, normally when Brother Marcus comes up and introduces the offering, it says a joke. So, in that case, my favorite joke teller has given me a joke.
Oh dear.
I am getting it right this time. So I actually did this joke before my message at camp. I totally messed it up. And I'm sitting at the end laughing. And nobody else is just like, everybody else is just sitting there. And then I realized I messed up. I'm like, oh, great. Okay, so the joke is, this police officer pulls this guy over for speeding. He looks in his eyes, he's like, your eyes are bloodshot. You've been drinking? And the guy says, no. Your eyes look glazed. Have you been eating donuts? I actually got some laughing times actually.